Welcome to this final edition of October 2014 as we prepare for the month of November, which means the upcoming SAC tournaments in volleyball, in soccer, men's and women's, and of course the SAC cross-country championships, which will be coming up next weekend, not this coming, but next weekend, and that'll be over in the Carolinas as well. You know, this being the final show before the Halloween holiday is what I like to call it. I was going to wear my costume, but people have already said that I am wearing my costume tonight, so we'll just have to deal with it as it is. But we've got a great show in store for you. We've got a lot of results from last week's play and some scenarios that you might want to think about in terms of how the teams will go into the SAC tournaments. And our guest tonight is Natalie Layden of the Lincoln Memorial University softball team. And we'll talk about a big event they've got coming up this weekend and about the upcoming 2015 spring season. It's all when we return right here on the Railsplitter Athletics Report. Stay with us.
We have a big problem, and we need your help.
It's happening on college campuses, at bars, at parties, even in high schools.
It's happening to our sisters and our daughters,
our wives and our friends.
It's called sexual assault, and it has to stop.
We have to stop it. So listen up.
If she doesn't consent, or if she can't consent, it's rape, it's assault.
It's a crime. It's wrong.
If I saw it happening, I was taught you have to do something about it.
If I saw it happening, I speak up.
If I saw it happening, I'd never blame her. I'd help her.
Because I don't want to be a part of the problem.
I want to be a part of the solution.
We need all of you to be part of the solution. This is about respect. It's about responsibility.
It's up to all of us to put an end to sexual assault. And that starts with you.
Because one is too many.
Heart disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change.
Let's go!
To the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet. Dang it.
Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women.
I could use your help.
Yeah!
Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.org.
You love your car or truck? Let us help you keep it clean at Soapy J. Soapy J's has unlimited wash plans to fit every budget. Try our $5 express wash or one of our 3 monthly wash plans. The Wheel Deal, the Soapy J, or the new Blast Wax. With our monthly wash plans, if you pay with credit card, all you do is pay for the present month and your card will be billed on the 1st of each month. Don't forget, Soapy J's has free vacuums with any wash. Soapy J's Express Car Wash, open 7 days a week. Let us help keep your car or truck clean at Soapy J's. Soapy J's on the Cumberland Gap Parkway, Middlesboro.
Welcome back to the Railsplitter Athletics Report. Last weekend wasn't a good one for Lincoln Memorial University's athletics programs. The Lady Railsplitter volleyball team suffered its 10th loss of the season while also gaining another victory to move to 15-10 overall and 11-6 in the conference. The LMU women's soccer team traveled to Salisbury, North Carolina and were forced to settle for a 1-1 tie with Catawba College while moving to 9-2-2 on the year and 7-1-2 in the SAC. And the Lincoln Memorial University men's soccer team had any hope of hosting a quarterfinal round matchup more than likely go out the window for the upcoming 2014 SAC tournament when they were defeated by Catawba in Salisbury Saturday 1-0 to fall to 7-4-3 overall and 4-3-3 in conference play. What does it all mean? Well, in terms of the 3 teams' conference tournament picture, where they will finish in regular season play and what seed they will get in their upcoming tournaments and who they will face for that matter. Last weekend's results complicate matters greatly with only this weekend remaining on the soccer regular season schedule and a little less than a week and a half to go before the end of the volleyball regular season. So, Friday evening's 3-1 loss to Lenoir-Rhyne University and Saturday's victory over the Tornadoes of Brevard, in which both matches took place in the LMU's Mary E. Mars Gymnasium. The Lincoln Memorial University volleyball team had a very uncharacteristic week off before their final push this week and next week. The break probably couldn't have come at a better time for the LMU women as they now prepare for a grueling 5-match stretch that gets underway Friday evening in Wingate, North Carolina, when they take on the undefeated and number 7 nationally ranked Bulldogs of Wingate University. Win or lose Friday evening, the trek from Wingate over to Hartsville, South Carolina and back to Harrogate Saturday will be a long one if the LMU women aren't able to salvage a victory over the Cobras in their final match of the weekend. Why, you might ask? Well, in addition to being the 2 longest road trips in the conference, the LMU women will enter the weekend in a 3-way tie with Lenoir-Rhyne and Tusculum in league standings. If the worst were to happen and the Lady Railsplitters lose to both the Bears and the Cobras, they could drop from that tie to 6th place with only 3 matches remaining on the regular season schedule. With a Tuesday match on the road and a pair of home matches during the final weekend of the season, the LMU women would have room to recover. However, Tuesday evening's match will be against the league's number 2 team, Carson Newman, on their home floor in Holt Fieldhouse over in Jefferson City, and their final weekend would pit them against the Wolves of Newberry, a team which they narrowly defeated in South Carolina earlier this year. While Saturday's regular season finale would be against the Trojans of Anderson, a team that will enter this weekend in 3rd place, and that's going to make it especially tough for the Lady Railsplitters. To say the next 5 matches will be an uphill battle for the Lady Railsplitters will be an understatement. However, with more than 5 days off the game floor before Friday evening's match with Wingate, the LMU women have had time to regroup, recuperate, and re-energize for their last week of regular season play. Let's take a look now at the standings in this week's South Atlantic Conference Volleyball. There you see Wingate still undefeated at 17-0, 24-1 overall. They're number 7 nationally ranked. Shelton Collier's got a dynasty over there right now. Carson Newman pushing them a little bit, but out of reach for the SAC regular season championship at 15-2. Anderson falls off the pace a little bit at 12-5, but still good enough to take 3rd for the present time. LMU a game off Lenoir-Rhyne there. There you see the Bears at 12-6 in the 4 spot. Lincoln Memorial still has the possibility of leapfrogging Lenoir-Rhyne, but it's going to be an uphill battle. They are 11-6 right now in a 2-way tie for 5th with Tusculum, who's also 11-6. Mars Hill, Newberry, Brevard, Catawba, they round out the top 10, followed by Queens. And look down there at the bottom, Coker finally got their first SAC victory. They are 1-16 in 2 years of play now in the South Atlantic Conference. So some pretty stiff competition there at the top of the standings. I think the field of 8 is more than likely set, but anything could happen in this final week and a half or week and 2 days of SAC regular season play. This Friday's road match with Shelton Collier and the number 7 ranked Bulldogs gets underway at 7 p.m. in Cuddy Arena, by the way, and that's going to be on the Wingate University campus. Saturday's tangle with the Cobras is set for a 2 p.m. start at the Deloach Center in Hartsville, South Carolina. And luck or not, in Saturday's case, the lack thereof also followed the LMU women's soccer team when it traveled over to Salisbury, North Carolina last week for their meeting with the Indians of Catawba College. The LMU women entered their only regular season meeting with Catawba at 7-1-1 overall and having won 8 of their last 9 matches while playing to a tie with Queens University. Things looked as though they would go business as usual Saturday when the Lady Railsplitters midfielder Fernanda Miasi scored in the 37th minute in a 1v1 situation with the keeper to give LMU the 1-0 advantage. The LMU women were on cruise control until the 66th minute when Catawba's Kirsten Peck caught teammate Karen Presnell's cross and found the net to tie the match at 1-all. Despite outshooting the Indians 13-10 and 7-6 in shots on goal for the match, neither Lincoln Memorial or Catawba could break the deadlock throughout the remainder of regulation and through 2 overtime periods, and thus were forced to settle for a 1-1 tie, which by and large hurts LMU more than it does Catawba in the standings. Tuesday afternoon, the LMU women traveled to Nashville, Tennessee, where they took on non-conference regional opponent Trevecca Nazarene University. And for the second time in as many matches, the Lady Railsplitters tasted defeat. Tuesday's match, while not a conference bout, was a regional outing and unraveled early in the match. The Trojans scored the first goal in just the 9th minute when Diana Corzine was assisted by teammate Isabella Oviedo. By the 24th minute, Trevecca had taken a 2-0 lead on Sabrina Garrido's goal that was assisted by Trojans' Lauren Winters. LMU forward Olivia Thompson pulled the Lady Railsplitters to within a goal shortly before the half ended in the 44th minute when she was assisted by LMU defender Lauren Dussault. Both defenses tightened with the beginning of the second half until the Lady Railsplitters broke for the 3rd time when TNU's Brooke Gann scored unassisted to give the Trojans a commanding 3-1 lead in the 75th minute. LMU was unable to again pull within they were actually able to pull within a goal again of tying the match at in the 82nd minute when Fernanda Miasi scored with help from Marissa Kiernan, but eventually the LMU women ran out of time and lost their 2nd consecutive match 3-2 to fall to 9-3-2 overall. So after the week's play, let's take a look now at the conference standings going into the final week of SAC women's soccer play. There you see Lenore Ryan, 9-1. They're 13-3-1 overall, and if I'm not mistaken, their only loss in league play is to Lincoln Memorial. Wingate, the team the Lady Railsplitters will play this Saturday, well, they're 8-1-1, 9-2-3 overall. Lincoln Memorial's women still in striking distance there. They could actually win this one against Wingate, and I don't know how that would work out having two ties, but they could possibly move up into the 2 spot, but no less than the 3 or 4. Newberry, Tusculum, Queens, Catawba, there you see the middle of the pack, followed by Anderson and Coker. Brevard, Carson Newman round out the top 12. And again, keep in mind, only 8 of the 12 teams make the upcoming SAC tournament. The first round will be on the home sites of the top 4 finishers. Right now, if it ended today, it'd be Lenore Ryan, Wingate, Lincoln Memorial, and Newberry. And then, of course, you would play 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, and 4 versus 5. So pretty strong standings going into the final weekend of SAC regular season women's soccer. Saturday's match, by the way, with the Bulldogs is set for a 1 o'clock start over in Wingate, North Carolina. Should be a dandy. Possibly the biggest disappointment suffered over the weekend was that of the Railsplitter soccer team's loss to Catawba. After pairing wins over Queens and Anderson a little more than a week ago in a late season rally, the Railsplitters played to an unfortunate 1-1 tie against Tusculum October 22nd to slow their run. That run came to a screeching halt Saturday when the Railsplitters traveled over to Salisbury, North Carolina, and suffered a 1-0 setback to the Indians, a team which has won only once this season in SAC play prior to their meeting with the Railsplitters. The loss drops the LMU men to 6th place on the league standings, but before the Railsplitters could erase the taste out of their the conference taste out of their mouth with the loss to Wingate, they had to take care of some unfinished business this week against non-conference regional opponent Trevecca Nazarene University. That match took place on Tuesday in Nashville, or did it? Well, Tuesday afternoon, the Railsplitters traveled to Nashville to take the field against the Trojans, and with hopes of turning the ship in the right direction before traveling across the South Atlantic to battle the Bulldogs. The travel was in vain, and the ship again ran aground, although this time it was Mother Nature that stopped the Railsplitters. Tuesday's match with Trevecca was halted in the 33rd minute due to inclement weather throughout the Nashville area as well as lightning. While neither team had scored at that point and the match was basically a stalemate, both programs agreed not to reschedule the bout due to the time constraints with both schools' remaining regular season play, each program's upcoming conference tournament schedule as well. LMU now has only Wingate University remaining this Saturday on the road before closing out the 2014 regular season. So, as we've done with the other 2 programs, let's take a look at the men's soccer standings. There you see Mars Hill. How is it that Mars Hill winds up in the top 3 almost every year when they get beat up a little bit during the regular season? They didn't do that this year. They're 8-2 now. Wingate, number 2, so you've got Lincoln Memorial in the 6th spot taking on the 2 team. The Bulldogs have been pretty solid this year at 7-2-1. Anderson 6-4. Hard to believe that the 3rd-ranked team in the league is 6-4, and that's kind of where it comes all unraveled. You got Carson Newman 5-3-2, Lenore Ryan 5-4-1 there in the 5 spot. LMU at 4-3-3. I think they need to do away with the tie in college soccer. Tusculum comes in at the 7th spot, followed by Coker. Coker and Newberry, as well as Queens, all battling for that 8th spot in the upcoming tournament. And to be quite honest with you folks, the men's SAC standings right now are very much like the SEC in football. They are just beating up on each other, and all that's going to do is hurt their national ranking. I think you've probably got some very good teams throughout the SAC that aren't going to make postseason play, and I'm talking about the NCAA tournament because of their records against each other, and that's unfortunate. I really think that the NCAA needs to give an automatic bid to the South Atlantic Conference in men's soccer, and they need to change that rule on ties, and let's end this thing to where somebody comes out a victor one way or the other. By the way, this Saturday's regular season finale between the Railsplitters and Bulldogs of Wingate gets underway at 3:30 on the WU campus, and we'll have the entire South Atlantic Conference tournament picture outlined on the LMU Athletics website shortly after the end of Saturday's matches. So check it out. That's www.lmurailsplitters.com. All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will be talking with LMU head softball coach Natalie Layden about this weekend's action, about her fall results, and about the upcoming 2015 spring season. It's all next here on the Railsplitter Athletics Report.
You make me wear my bike helmet. taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet.
Sugar box under the bed. Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
You can be a hero by being prepared for an emergency. First, make a plan. Call a family meeting to plan for things like how to connect with loved ones after an emergency.
There.
Or your escape route.
I am not fast.
Build a kit. When disaster strikes, it's important to have enough supplies to last 3 days. And don't forget the batteries.
Low battery.
Number 3, know the facts. From blackouts to floods, no matter the emergency, the more you know about it, the better you can deal with it.
You're gonna need some upgrades.
Number 4, get involved. Lend a hand in your community to help others know their role in an emergency.
You guys, do you feel this? We're gonna be heroes!
You can be a hero by being prepared.
Yes!
Visit ready.gov/kids for more preparedness tips.
Welcome back to the Railsplitter Athletics Report. As we said, the Lady Railsplitter softball team has a big outing this weekend that we're going to talk about tonight. And joining me now on set, Natalie Layden, head coach of the Lady Railsplitter softball team. Coach, first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Been a while.
Appreciate it. Thanks for bringing me back.
Hey, we like to have them back when we can. Coach, obviously you've had a fall season since we've last talked to you. It's a short season. It's unofficial, but you get to kind of set a benchmark, you know, throughout this period where you can evaluate some of your individuals that you brought in and the right combinations, what they need to work on, so forth. Tell us about what you saw throughout the fall schedule.
Yeah, we saw a lot of things this fall, you know, a lot of good things out of our team. Everybody plays multiple positions, and in the recruiting process, we always say versatility creates opportunity. And, you know, with that, with our team, it's provided a little bit of depth that we're not really used to. And it was nice going into our fall games. A lot of our freshmen got some playing time, and those guys are doing well. You know, we played a couple games against 2 travel ball teams where we put in situations and kind of ran against our team by putting runners on base. And then, you know, we went up to Morehead State and played up there in 2 games. So those guys did a lot. We were challenged and pressure and umpires and being tight, being loose, all that good stuff. So it was nice to get them acclimated and adjusting to that as a team and as a program. So I think we're moving in the right direction, but we definitely got a lot of work to do.
This academic season is not your first go around here at LMU. Obviously, you've been here a couple of years now, and as a result, with the end of last season, you saw the graduation of maybe a couple of players that you brought in. And so, you know, those losses obviously open the door for somebody else to step in. And in a lot of cases, it's hard to replace somebody. You just hope that somebody else is going to take their game to the next level. You bring somebody else in. Maybe they're better, maybe they're not, but they have to work on their college game. What has that been like here in the first part of the 2014-15 season?
Yeah, it's been good. You know, right now you lose a player like Brianna Mulkey, like you say, filling shoes. You don't fill those shoes. You try to put a pair beside them, and I think that's what, you know, some of our freshman outfielders are trying to do. We're in a good situation right now where we have some leadership. There's only 3 players on our team that have been there 3 years or more out of the 14. Everybody else is 2 years or less. So that's been a challenge, and just getting it, you know, going in the right direction. But I think a lot of our sophomores and our JUCO seniors have done a great job in leading our team. Those guys have really stepped up and helped with the freshmen and being young, and, you know, of course, with the experience of Kelly Dreyer and Amanda Snow, they've done an awesome job with just, you know, making sure they're acclimated to things, not only softball but academically, and, you know, so far it's been pretty seamless.
When we were in the Gulf South Conference days, you know, that's a league that is dominated in most sports predominantly by junior college transfers. You do have freshmen, you do have some Division I transfers, but predominantly it's JUCO transfers.
Right.
A lot of coaches like the quick fix type thing to get that experienced player, that JUCO player or Division I transfer that can come in right away and contribute right away as a major factor. A lot of coaches like to go the freshman route. What are your preferences when you're recruiting players? Do you recruit position specific, or do you recruit experience?
Well, it kind of depends on what we need. If we need experience, then I go get some. You know, if we need some talent and those kinds of things that we've got time to groom, then we'll go for freshmen. You know, right now with building it and you know, establishing a program, you know, we're still working on some of those things. So now, you know, having some freshmen come in, we've got some time now that we have upperclassmen to be able to hold down those positions and you know, do a nice job. So it's not as crucial to get somebody in here ASAP with experience, where we've got a little time to develop some talent.
You're looking at some footage from the 2014 SAC softball tournament that was hosted by Lincoln Memorial University. Our turn to host some pretty sweet unis out there, Coach. Yeah. Let's talk about the upcoming weekend. You've got some big plans for you and your team this weekend. Tell us about them.
Yeah, we're having a camp this weekend, and what we're doing with that is, you know, bringing a lot of our recruits and prospects on campus, and those guys will tour and they'll see how things go and how LMU teaches things, and it'll be nice, you know, for them to get an idea of the Railsplitter way. Also in that group we have some of our 2015 commits, and so of them will come on campus and just kind of hang out and just get more acclimated. You know, I always tell them the more you guys can come up and get to know the team and know us coaches, the better off you'll be and the easier the transition will be. So they'll be doing that, and I think it's really helped them start to get to know each other, so that way when they get here they're not on an island by themselves, and we can start playing ball in August instead of waiting until November and they get to know each other. Now
you, in addition to, you know, some new personnel on the team, you've got some new coaching staff here with you as well. Coach Batts has moved on. Coach Berkheimer has moved on. Tell us about your new staff.
Yeah, my new staff right now has been, I couldn't ask for a better staff, to be honest. Coach Brackey has a great work ethic and a positive attitude. He's been great with our hitters. He's done a very nice job just getting acclimated to the area. Coming from New York, it's a little different, but at least he's used to the cold weather, so that's not an adjustment. And then Kirsten Toole, who's our graduate assistant, she's done a very good job with our pitchers. With her graduating from our program, the transition hasn't been very difficult. You know, she knows how we run things and what we expect, and you know, she's been a very good liaison between the players and coaching staff, and trying to understand what it's like to be a player, but yet understand what it's like to be a coach as well. And so I think she's got a good grasp of that, and between the three of us, we've got a good thing going right now.
Coach, I know that one of the things that you were very interested in when you came here as head coach was the possibility of televising some of your home games. Last year we were unprecedented in the fact that we broadcast our first live softball games here at Lincoln Memorial University through the SAC tournament. This year, as I understand it, we've got 7 games tentatively on the schedule, 7 baseball games as well. That said, though, you know, obviously this has got to be an advantage to you when you can go out and talk to a potential recruit and say, hey, take a look at this online, or this is what we do.
Absolutely. Yeah, last year what you guys did in the tournament was absolutely awesome. You know, the broadcasting that the parents were able to see, some of the ones who weren't able to travel in, and, you know, especially a senior where a parent can't get here and it's their last weekend in conference, it's nice for them to see that. And so for us in recruiting, you know, it helps get a little more nationwide to where, you know, you may not be able to travel in, but you're still able to watch your kid play. And I know a lot of times parents are just as invested as the athlete is. And when they can't watch games and can't be there, then, you know, sometimes that can be a loss in a recruiting aspect. So it's nice that we're able to offer that now, and I'm excited for it this year. I think it's going to be good.
Coach, a little less than a minute to go. Obviously, you're in your off-season workouts right now, individual workouts and so forth. As soon as we come back from the Christmas holiday break, it's going to be to the grind, and your team's going to be preparing for 2015. Yeah. If you can, in about 20 seconds, give us a summation of what you expect in the spring season.
Yeah, I expect this team to be a bunch of fighters. What we've shown so far in this fall, I mean, we will fight and we are competitive. in everything we do. You know, we have them be competitive all the time. And so I think this team is going to do some things that maybe aren't expected of them because of that mentality and that will to win that it's hard to get into athletes. And I feel like this, as a group, they have that, and I'm looking forward to seeing it on the field in season.
Well, Coach, they say that attitude reflects leadership, and we certainly hope that you're as competitive as they are, and I know that if you are, then they will be too.
Absolutely.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thanks again to Natalie Layden for joining us. We're going to take one more time out. We'll come back to close things out for 2014 here in October. It's a ghoulish kind of time. Back after this.
Citizens Bank, we're different from everyone else. We've proudly served business communities of Northeast Tennessee since 1912 and have security you can count on. We offer the convenience of internet banking, excellent loan services on various types of loans, cash management, and small business banking at all of our convenient locations in Harrogate, Tazewell, New Tazewell, Bean Station, and Morristown. Visit our website to find out more at citizensbanktn.com. Citizens Bank, no more banking as usual.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
From commercial to residential, from the basement to the attic, Knoxville Drywall can deliver full-service drywall, insulation, and paint contracting. Knoxville Drywall specializes in new and tenant build-outs, drywall repair, drywall grids, metal stud framing, acoustical ceilings, suspended drywall ceilings, and ceiling and wall texturing and painting. Knoxville Drywall also provides wall-blown insulation for existing walls, attic-blown insulation, wall and ceiling batts insulation, and crawlspace insulation. Knoxville Drywall Incorporated, serving Knoxville and the surrounding area for more than 56 years with outstanding quality and competitive pricing.
Institutional case good or architectural woodwork. Nolan Products Incorporated of Knoxville has been serving East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, and Southeast Kentucky since 1958. From concept to finish, Nolan Products custom builds to the highest quality standards to meet your facility specifications while using only the finest materials available. Nolan Products has been serving and meeting the needs and requirements of general contractors and architects in East Tennessee and surrounding area for more than 55 years. Nolan Products Incorporated, 912 Forsyth Street Northeast, Knoxville.
Welcome back to the Railsplitter Athletics Report. I want to tell you that tomorrow night, Friday night, October the 31st, of course, for most of the people out there, we know that that's Halloween, and as a result, the Lincoln Memorial University athletic teams will be having a Halloween Havoc in the Tex Turner Arena. Now, we were only informed about this a couple of days ago. There's going to be a trick-or-treat for local children on the upper concourse of the Tex Turner Arena starting at 4:30. From 5 to 7, the LMU athletic teams, or the basketball teams that is, will have their Halloween Havoc down in the arena. I think they're going to run an inter-squad or something of that nature for the men for sure. I think probably the women will as well. So it's kind of an early glimpse for you to get out there and see what the LMU basketball teams have in terms of the 2014-15 season. And that's going to be Friday night, October 31st, beginning at 4:30 with a trick-or-treat and 5 to 7 with the Halloween Havoc intra-squads. That's about all the time we have for this week. Well, folks, I want to remind you that to keep up to date on all that's going on with Lincoln Memorial University Athletics, pull up the LMU Athletics website, www.lmurailsplitters.com. You'll find out all you want to know about Lincoln Memorial University Athletics, not just one, but all 15 Lincoln Memorial University sports. That's all the time we have for tonight. Until next week, I'm Rusty Peace. Good night, everybody.